first tonight, the City Council being accused of treating crucial budget cuts with contempt.
Peterborough is having to find ways to cut more than £20 million from its annual spend and has asked the public to use a new online simulator to say where they would make the savings, something that hasn't gone down too well in some quarters.
Many organisations in the city are concerned that however the cuts are made, the impact could be crucial in deciding their futures.
Well, Matthew Hudson is at Peterborough Town Hall for us this evening. Good evening, Matt. This has caused some controversy, hasn't it?
The whole budget is causing controversy. £21 million is not a small amount of money. It represents about 10% of what the council spends. Now, when it comes to spending, the real big ticket items for councils are adult social care and children's services, but they spend money on a lot of other things, on libraries and swimming pools, on cleaning the streets, on emptying people's bins, on putting on events and much, much more. And having had a go on this simulator myself, I think it's fair to say it is very hard to see how the council is going to be able to keep all of those plates spinning.
A new hairdo for Daphne Hayner at Peterborough's Florence House care home. These are worrying times for the city's care sector. Many homes are struggling with spiralling costs. But the local authority, which funds many residents across Peterborough, has to make cuts to its budgets. There's concern it won't be able to increase what it provides.
Obviously, our costs are still increasing. Food's going up week by week. We haven't yet felt the impact of the energy cost increase. But unfortunately, for those homes that are funded majority by the local authority, they're really going to struggle and possibly risk closure as well.
Peterborough City Council needs to cut £21 million from a budget of £214 million. But much of that is spent on areas it is legally obliged to fund or on servicing debt. So most of the savings will have to be found in the remainder. Its website has a budget simulator, which allows people to see how much would be saved by cuts in different services, but also warns of what consequences those cuts might have. The ruling Conservative group says it's not a game and hopes taxpayers will use it to show where they think savings should be made.
It informs our decision making so that when we come to make the difficult decisions about where we need to make service reductions or prioritise on things, we're getting first-hand information from the public about what they believe to be important, and to me, that's priceless.
The opposition Labour group would support a reasonable increase in council tax. It believes there are three options.
One is to bring more income in, the second is to cut costs, and the third one is to find efficiency. So how can we do things better and more effectively? And I think cutting services obviously would be the wrong thing to do right now with everything going on. So it's about finding efficiencies, at the same time seeing if we can increase our income or do things in a better way.
The Little Miracles charity supports families with disabled and life-limited children. Here, they're concerned reductions in council services could mean less early intervention, with more youngsters needing more expensive help from them later on.
If they come to us at crisis point, it means that we're putting in the higher level services, so things like counselling, things like the intensive parenting support. And it's the same with any service. So if you stop the early intervention services, the demand here, the crisis care, we might have delayed it, but actually we're pushing more families into those crisis points.
No one is saying these decisions are easy. It's almost impossible to see how they can be made without some people here feeling the pain. Matthew Hudson, ITV News in Peterborough.